Baraja Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Abhunitananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Jai Vishnu Pada Paramahansa Parivaraka Charya Turu Smile Fine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anante Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prince Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vinda Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Vrindavan Dhamma Ki Jai nṛbhiḥ Mayapur Dhamma Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vinda Ki Jai. All glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, Parikshit cursed by a Brahmana boy, text 44 and 43. So I'm going to read text 42, then we will chant 43 together. Text 42. O my boy, your intelligence is immature, and therefore you have no knowledge. Thus the king, who is the best among human beings, is as good as the personality of Godhead. He is never to be placed on an equal footing with common men. The citizens of the state live in prosperity, being protected by his unsurpassable power. Text 43. Alaksamane nara-devaṁ Natangapanabayan angalokam Tadaki jala pratula binoksati Alangsnayamano bibaluta bhaksana Alangsnamane nara-devaṁ Natangapanabayan angalokam Tadaki chula binoksyanti Alangsnamano bibaluta bhaksana Alangsnamane nara-devaṁ Natangapanabayan angalokam Tadaki chala binaksanti Alangsnamano bibaluta bhaksanata Laksamane being abolished. Nara-devaṁ monarchical namni of the name Latangapana, the representative of the Lord. I am this Anga, oh my boy, Loka, this world, Tadahi, at once, Chola, thieves, Prachula, too much, Vinaksyanti, vanquish, Alakshamana, being not protected, Abhibalutaba, like lamb, they are not at once. Translation: my dear boy, the Lord who carries the wheel of a chariot is represented by the monarchical regime, and when this regime is abolished, the whole world becomes filled with thieves, who then at once vanquish the unprotected subject like scattered lamb. My dear boy, the Lord, who carries the wheel of a chariot, is represented by the monarchical regime, and And when this regime is abolished, the whole world becomes filled with thieves, who then at once vanquish the unprotected subject like scattered lamb. Purport. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, the monarchical regime represents the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. The king is said to be representative of the absolute personality of Godhead, because he is trained to acquire the quality of God to protect the living being. The battle of Kurukshetra was planned by the Lord to establish the real representative of the Lord, Maharaj Yudhishthira, an ideal king thoroughly trained by the culture and devotional service with a martial spirit, make a perfect king. Such a personal monarchy is far better than the so-called democracy of no training and responsibility. The thieves and rogues of modern democracy seek election by misrepresentation of vote, and the successful rogue and thief devour the mass of population. One-time monarch is far better than 100 of useless ministers' rogue, and it is hinted herein that by abolishing the monarchical regime like that of Maharaj Parikshit, the mass of people become open to many attacks of the age of Kali. They are never happy in an overly advertised form of democracy. The result of such kingless administration is described in the following verse. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnana-jnana-shalakaya Chakshum-militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. This chapter, titled Parikshit Cursed by the Brahmana Boy, has two parts. First part, Suta Goswami is speaking to the sage Om Naimishalanya how Maharaj Parikshit was protected in the beginning of his life from the Ashwatthama's Brahmastra by the Supreme Lord. Then at the end of his life, he took shelter of Sukadeva Goswami and he completely surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord. And during his legend, he was such an exemplary king. While Lord Krishna left the world, at the same moment Kali Yuga, Kali entered the world, but because of Maharaj Parikshit, the Kali could not spread the influence. Such a great king Parikshit Maharaj was. And the greatness of Parikshit Maharaj is because he was taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. So when Suta Goswami was speaking like that, the sage of Naimishalanya said, "Wow, so wonderful you're speaking about Supreme Personality of Godhead and Parikshit Maharaj in relation to the Lord. Please go on speaking. We are being covered with black smoke during the yajna because of our fault. We are just being covered by black smoke. But by hearing about the glory of the Supreme Lord, we get purified. So please go on speaking." So Suta Goswami said, "Yes, the glory of the Supreme Lord is unlimited, but as far as I can, as far as my knowledge and ability and realization allow me to speak, I will speak just like the bird can fly as far as they can with their wing." So the second half is narration about how Maharaj Parikshit was cursed. Yesterday's class was such a wonderful class. You were there yesterday in the class? Who was there? Most of you. So yesterday's class was so wonderful that he mostly covered very important part of this chapter, so I don't really have to repeat, but then when you have painting is already complete, but sometimes we can add a little detail or some more highlight, so now I'm going to do that. So Parikshit Maharaj was going to the hunting, and he was chasing the deer. But this deer is not like cute, so sweet deer. It's a wild animal, wild deer. So why the king go to the hunting? It's not because they are torturing the cute deers, but they are protecting the sage who may be disturbed by the wild animal, like wild deer. It's not cute deer. And that is the one reason. Another reason is they have to be trained in the martial art. In this today's purport, it said the king has to be trained with martial art. So for that training, the king go to the forest for hunting. So the Parikshit Maharaj was going after a deer, and then he kind of lost the way. He didn't know where he was, and he became thirsty. So he was looking for the reservoir water. It said later on, the Shringi took the water of Kaushika river. That means he must be nearby Kaushika river. It's river. Parikshit Maharaj was looking for the reservoir of water. He could have easily gone to the Kaushika river. It was nearby, but somehow by Lord Krishna's arrangement, he didn't see the river nearby, and he saw the hermitage of Shomaka Rishi. Usually the sages stay near the river. It's common sense because they are doing the birth here and they have to take birth 3 times in a day. So they usually choose to live near the river. So if he sees Shomaka Rishi sitting there, if in his normal state he will think sage is here, that means there must be a river nearby. And plus, usually king knows the place where he is ruling. Because he is the ruler of the king, he must know what is where. Especially in the forest, he is going to the hunting. He must be used to going to the hunting, so he must know where is the river. And plus, usually king doesn't go alone anywhere. He must be having some minister or servant who is carrying the water at least. But somehow he was alone. Looked like he didn't have a servant to carry the water this moment. And then the Kaushika river is, according to the modern map, it's in the Coimbatore. And Hastinapur, the Parikshit Maharaj was ruling from Hastinapur. Hastinapur is near Delhi. So near Delhi to Coimbatore is quite far. So those days, Maharaj Parikshit was ruling the whole Bharatavarsha. So whole area was under Parikshit Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj and Parikshit Maharaj inherited the region. So whole Bharatavarsha was under Parikshit Maharaj. But still, Hastinapur to Coimbatore quite far. So I don't know if he was hunting and looking for the deer and he went that far away, or sometimes the map is differently described in the Shastra. So in any case, he couldn't find that Kaushika river, he found the Shomaka Rishi. And then he was in meditation. And in Shomaka Rishi, he was mystic yogi. He was not our line like Vaishnava yogi, but then he was a mystic yogi. So he was performing 8-fold mystic yoga. That is yama niyama, asana pranayama, then atyahara, pratyahara, then dhyana, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So it seems like he was already in deep meditation. He was not be able to perceive outside world. Just like when we are doing really good chanting, you were thinking about the holy name, chanting and meditating and hearing each sound of holy name, and you can actually feel the Lord Krishna is there. Then someone said, "Hey Mataji, hey Prabhu, can you go somewhere? What did you eat today?" Then feel like, what's it, Jason? I'm chanting, don't disturb. And sometimes when you really into the chanting deep, then you don't even notice someone is calling. Yeah? So the Bharat Maharaj is describing this, the sound has a form. Even the material form, material sound, if the sound system is connected to some surface, on the surface there is some little dust. Dust means sand or particle, fine particle. Somehow in special machine is connected and put that music. Then particular music make some form. The sound will form some kind of form. And then if they put another music, then after some time the sound will form another form. So that is material sound, but the sound seems has a form. So what speak of holy name? If we put holy name, then holy name, we chant the holy name, then holy name will manifest the form of the holy name. So the Shomakalisi was like when we chant the holy name so seriously, then the name will manifest. Then the sound, of course, has quality, like a loud music, rock and roll, and that, wow, so mechanic and loud, and sometimes silent and quiet, nice music, the forest, bird chopping, then become calm, and someone is going to the march, then dun, 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 then going like encouragement. So the sound has quality. So the holy name also has a quality. So when we are chanting, the holy name will manifest form and qualities, and later on, of course, manifest the lila. Then after we can not only see, but we can enter into the lila. So when we are chanting that deep, then we will not be able to perceive outside. So in the same way, Shomakalisi, he was not doing bhakti process, but he was doing mystic process. He was in the deep meditation. He was meditating on super soul. Mystic yogi means super soul. So he was meditating on super soul. In the 6th chapter, Krishna described about how the yogi actually attained samadhi. They will actually see the super soul, and they will not perceive anything outside, and he think there is no more higher happiness than this. That much deep state they can go. So Shomakalisi was in that state. Then Parikshita Maharaj go along without finding a river. He came to the hermitage of Shomakalisi. He asked for the water, and the Shomakalisi didn't answer, so he retaliated, and he put the dead snake around. Then Shomakalisi's little boy, the son, heard about that. Then somehow he must be nearby the Kaushika river. He touched the water, and then he made a curse. Just because Lord Krishna, the protector of the Lord, is not here, no one can protect. So I will take up the position of Lord Krishna. He is so like, Krishna is not there. I'm going to take up the position of Krishna. I'm going to punish this misdealing of this wretched Parikshita Maharaj. So he said, from after the 7 days from now on, snake bird Takshaka will come to bite the most wretched of the dynasty who have offended my father. I was thinking, if this is the exact mantra he chanted, how this could work on Maharaj Parikshita? Because he didn't utter the name of Parikshita Maharaj. If this is the mantra, exact mantra he chanted, he didn't say Maharaj Parikshita's name, and he just addressed the worst of the dynasty. But Parikshita Maharaj is not the worst wretched dynasty. He is the best, one of the best, like Yudhishthira Maharaj, Parikshita Maharaj, and all the great hero of the dynasty. He is one of the greatest. Then he is chanting, without chanting his name, he is chanting worst wretches of the dynasty. I don't know how this mantra could work on Parikshita Maharaj. And plus he said, who had offended my father? That offense is just a little, just a dead snake around the neck. It's not such a heavy offense that be counted as offense to be killed. So I don't know how it works, but somehow it works. And plus, Parikshita Maharaj, Shomakalisi said that he could counteract this curse, but he didn't do. And plus, one more. Kashyapa Muni, he had a mantra to counteract this curse. So when the Takshaka was coming, after 7 days, Takshaka was coming to the spot where Parikshita Maharaj was going to live and going to bite. On the way, actually Kashyapa Muni, Takshaka's father, he was coming to save Parikshita Maharaj. He has a mantra to revive the dead. So Takshaka will bite, but then after Takshaka died, and Takshaka bite, and Parikshita Maharaj leave the body, but then he could revive with the mantra of Kashyapa Muni. So it was confirmed before when Takshaka bit some snake, the tree or something, and then that Kashyapa chant some mantra, that tree came back to life. So it was confirmed that he has that mantra, he has that power. So he was on the way. But somehow Takshaka knew about Kashyapa's power. On the way, Takshaka gave some valuable gift to father, Kashyapa, and then Kashyapa said, "Oh, great!" Then he took the gift and he just didn't go to save Parikshita Maharaj. So it's very unusual because Kashyapa Muni is the Prajapati. He is the father of Indra, father of Vamanadev, and also father of Hiranyakashipu as well. But he is a great Prajapati. But then he just got some gift from Takshaka. Takshaka is snake, and snake is his son as well, because Kashyapa Muni has different wife. One of the wife is the mother of the snake. So between Kashyapa and that wife, there is so many snake, and one of the snake, Takshaka. So he got a gift, so he didn't go to save Parikshita Maharaj. So all this sound like very unusual. It's like, how is that possible? It's like, it doesn't sound like it's going to happen, but then it's happened. So all are Krishna's arrangement. Then he, after the Parikshita Maharaj repented, that maybe sage was not just pretending in meditation, but he wasn't in actually meditation, so he repented. Then the Shringi, after the curse, and he started to cry because he was feeling so much pressure. He had done something wrong. You know, some kids start to cry, then they have done something wrong. Then you have to settle up that's wrong. And at the same time, the kid is crying. Then what you're going to do about it? You have to settle the matter and you have to pacify the kid. That's what the father did. So Shyamakālesi noticed the kid is crying, and he came back from meditation, and he saw the kid is crying, the child is crying, and he asked what's happened. Then he explained what's happened. Then what he is going to do is discuss today. This is then coming to today's text. Yeah. So usually we see when the children is crying, have done something wrong and crying, then parents will say, "Oh, that's okay, it's okay, you are so good." Or, "Oh, you stupid, you get lost." One of those. But Shyamakālesi didn't do any of these two. And he said, "Your intelligence is immature." And he explained what was wrong he did. He didn't just say that you should go to, I was insulted, you took my side, you are such a good son. He didn't glorify the son, and he didn't heavily chastise, "You stupid, terrible thing you have done." He didn't like heavily chastise. He just said, "You are intelligent, immature. You didn't know that king was representative of the Lord, and because of king we are protected." He just mentioned his intelligence in immature, and he didn't know the position of king. And because of king we are protected, and the king is not there, the thief will flourish and will be, we means all together, everybody in the country will suffer, he explained. So we can learn the lesson that when you see your children or someone is crying, then you can follow that Shyamakālesi's example. Don't just chastise or just say, "Oh, you are so good," but then you explain what was wrong he have done. Yeah. So that is the lesson which is in the behavior of Shyamakālesi. Then today's text 42 and 43. Two of them has same word, nara-devaṁ. Nara-devaṁ means the king is the deva among the human being. That means the king is representing the Supreme Lord. It's not that the king is God, but he is representing the Lord because of his qualification of protecting the citizen. The Lord has the mission. He has the work to protect the citizen. And the king is representing the Lord because he has that good qualification, good manner, good cultures. And in this purpose he said, cultures and devotional service and martial skill. So the king has that. So in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, the opulence of the Supreme Lord, Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti Yoga, Krishna described among the mountain, I'm the meadow, among the immortal, I'm the Himalaya, among the body of water, I'm the ocean, among the what else? Among the priests, I'm Angela, and different things he said. So among the human, I'm the king, I'm a monarch. So that doesn't mean Krishna is Himalaya, or Krishna is Meru, or Krishna is Brihaspati. It's not like that, but because they are representing, that's Vibhuti Yoga, that means Krishna's splendor, Krishna's fortune, Krishna's opulence, so Krishna's power, they are representing, that's why they are called Vibhuti. So king is nara-devaṁ, that means Vibhuti Yoga. They are doing Krishna's work, and they are representing the Lord. So therefore, the king should not be put on the same footing as ordinary people, so should not be cursed. So in this connection, I would like to say something happened in Japan just 4 weeks ago. I don't know if you know, but the prime minister, ex-prime minister, the former prime minister, you know this? I guess you don't see the news or anything in Japan, but in Japan there was a ex-prime minister, Abe Shinzo. He was really popular, and he was, as a prime minister, longest period of time, and he was very capable person. He was very kind, and he liked to please people. He liked to make others happy. So he was very close to sitting. He's not just sitting on a court and with serious face. He wasn't like that. He was always going forward, and people asked take photo together. Yay, yay, like that. He was very friendly, and he was not posing. He was actually friendly. He was a nice person. And then he became prime minister when he was very, very young. So other people become envious and different things, and he removed. But then he became prime minister again. So altogether, he was as a prime minister for longest. So then he has some sickness, so he resigned. But then he didn't completely went away from the government service, but then he resigned from prime minister's position. And after, there is a just 1 month ago, there is another election. So he was doing the speech to support another person to be elected. He was not going, but he was not in that the person to be voted, but he was supporting. He was giving the speech to support someone else. So in that speech, he didn't even stand on a big stage. He just stood in the middle of like a street. One road was like this, one road was there. In the middle, just not even stage, just a box, just a regular box, just a box. He stood on the box. He was a former minister, but he just stood on the box, and then with microphone, he didn't say Hare Krishna, but then hello, I'm Abe Shinzo. Thank you very much for coming. And then he just starts speaking. Let's make Japan a wonderful country. We together, we put the hand together, we will make the beautiful country. Like that, he started speech. Then, after 2 minutes, he was shot. There was a big sound, and then everyone said, what's that, some kind of explosion? Then after 3 minutes, another big sound, and then he was shot from behind. It was like only a few meters away. That means he was so accessible to everyone. He didn't make big fence, nobody can come nearby, so that everyone can just come nearby. So someone shot him, and then there was not much blood, but then his heart started, so he fell and his heart started. So the emergency helicopter came and he was took to the helicopter, but in the helicopter his heart was already not moving. Then after the doctor, of course, the heart is not moving anymore, so they know that it's not going to be revived, but then they did their best, and after a few hours they announced he had left the body. So it was really shocking. It's the former prime minister. He was most popular in the history of Japan. Most popular prime minister was shot to death on the spot in the middle of his speech to support other people. And it was really shocking. So it's quite similar to this stage. Parikshit Maharaj was such a wonderful king, and he was cursed to die in 7 days. And plus, this boy who shoot, he was not exactly adult. It's not child, but a young adult, about 30. And the reason he shoot was because his mother was caught by so-called religious group, and she has to donate so much of wealth. So she has inherited, and she gave all the money to that so-called religious group. And then after they are demanding more, so the mother was giving more and more and more donation. Then she actually destroyed herself. I mean, not the body, but then she actually financially collapsed. So he was grown up with that kind of atmosphere. So then he found out this Abe Shinzo-moto's prime minister gave the speech to support that so-called fake religious group. So he thought this prime minister is related to this religious group. It's not exactly connected, or not sure they are researching, but it's not closely connected. But he thought it's like almost like shrinking. It's very childish. It's not even confirmed fact, but then he thought, I have to kill this guy. And then he made the gun by himself, and then he tested the guns is really working, and then he actually shoot, and then the prime minister died. So actually that happened, and he is not feeling guilty, and he didn't have a father. The father already left the world, so he didn't have father like Shringi's father. Shringi's father said, Shringi's father prayed to the Supreme Lord, this child have done wrong, please forgive him. And he prayed to the Supreme Lord for forgiveness for the son, and he took the responsibility on himself and the whole society as Brahmana. But then this boy who shot the prime minister didn't have a father, so didn't have a son. Now they are in a court case. I don't know what they're going to do with this boy. But to kill someone who is in the position of prime minister or the king or emperor, who is doing the Krishna's work, is very, very simple. And plus, this case, Parikshit Maharaj is not only king, but he was a Vaishnava. So Krishna will never forgive the offense which was done to the Vaishnava. So the Parikshit Maharaj, he didn't mind. He said, this happened, then I have done wrong, and then I'm going to be cursed. It's not even with my offense and this curse, but then if it must be Krishna's will, then I will accept. Now what I can do, what I can do to prepare myself to go to the next life. He just immediately moved on to the next step. So that is the glory of Parikshit Maharaj and the forbearance of devotees. So that's the half part of today's purport, and then the rest of the half of the purport. Prabhupada will talk about monarchs, the king is the train, and Vaishnava is good, like Yudhishthira Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj. That's why Kurukshetra's war was fought. Duryodhana was good. Duryodhana was good to manage. Duryodhana was good king in the material aspect, but then he was not devotee. So in that legend, people live happily ever, not forever. They will come Kalpa Bandhana and repeated personal death. But under the legend of Maharaj Yudhishthira, they live happily and they're cultivating Krishna consciousness, and then next life they will go back to Godhead. So that's kind of the king Krishna wanted. That's why he established Maharaj Yudhishthira. Then Maharaj Yudhishthira resigned. Then he didn't have child because Ashwatthama killed them all. And the grandchild means Arjuna's grandchild, but then he was only left. So Parikshit Maharaj was installed. So Krishna protected him to become the next king. So he was so qualified. And now Krishna desired that he will go to another world. Of course, Parikshit Maharaj has a son, Janamejaya. Janamejaya Maharaj was such a wonderful king, and he thought this snake, because the snake, my father died, I'm going to kill all the snake, and he started fire, sacrifice to call all the snake in the world. So he has a priest and chanting each snake's name, and then every time the priest chant the mantra, then the snake was coming from all over and jumping to the fire to die. And just when the priest was going to chant Takshaka's name, that's the main guy, then somehow it was stopped, so it was not happened. So Takshaka didn't die, and Takshaka was somehow friend of Indra. So then the story goes on. So what I wanted to do was not what I was saying, but then what I want to say was how the modern world, Shastra Chakshu, how we see the world through the eyes of Shastra. So Prabhupada was saying, in the modern age, there is no proper king who are trained in Krishna consciousness and who has proper culture. So they have the ministers, so many ministers and so many government officers who are only interested in their welfare. So the Prabhupada is talking about and how the trained king is good, and the modern ministers and government is not to understand it. So Krishna said to Chaturvarnam Mayasestan Guna Karma Vibhavasa. So Krishna created this Varnashram system. Varnashram means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. This system is according to their guna karma, their qualities and the activities. So it was perfectly established and perfectly working well, but it's not working now because Shringi gave the starting line. Shringi made the Brahmanas club, and because of Shringi, the Brahmanas position was lowered, and because of Shringi, the power was lost. He has a power, Shringi has a power, but he didn't have a culture. And because he didn't have a culture, he didn't have a deep understanding, his intelligence was immature, he misused the power and he cursed Parikshit Maharaj. So the degradation of Brahmana started from Shringi. And Shringi, mainly because his misunderstanding was because his pride, I'm Brahmana, Brahmana is better than Kshatriya. His hatred for the other caste, it's not exactly caste, other people, so his hatred for the other people made this Kali enter. Similar story, the Brahmana girls and the Kshatriya girls have some fight. Do you remember the story? You remember the story? Brahmana girls and Brahmana Kshatriya girls had a little fight. Devayani and Samista. Yeah? Devayani is the daughter of Shukracharya. So they are playing in the water and something happened and they have to get the clothes, and Samista by mistake took Devayani's clothes and Devayani got angry and, hey, you are you're the father is a king, and my father is a Brahmana, and you are like a watchdog, like Shringi also said, the Parikshit Maharaj is a watchdog. You are like the daughter of watchdog, and how dare you take my clothes? Usually we feel like a princess taking my clothes, and owner, please take it. Oh, I feel shame that the princess has taken my clothes. But Devayani is very proud. He's like a Brahmana's Shukracharya's daughter. How you dare to take my dress? So there was fight, but she didn't curse or anything. She wanted the Samista become her maid servant, but that's it. Not here, Shringi actually cursed the Parikshit Maharaj to die. So that was there in the history, but it was not this extent. So in the beginning of Kali Yuga, this happened, and the Brahmana boy gave the entrance, the hall, it's that Prabhupada described as a hall. He gave the halls for the Kali to enter. So in the modern world, because Brahmana degraded, they lost the power, they lost the qualification, they lost the real religiosity. So Kshatriya doesn't want to follow the Brahmana anymore. Before Brahmana was guiding Kshatriya and Kshatriya protecting the Vaishya and Shudra, but now Brahmana degraded. So Kshatriya thought, why I should follow this stupid who is not even Brahmana properly? So why I should follow them? So Kshatriya took over the position higher, like they don't care the Brahmana anymore. So before it was Brahminical. Parikshita Maharaj protected Brahminical culture, that means protect the Brahmana and cow, but it's not there anymore. The Kshatriya is not going to protect the Brahmana. Kshatriya is going to take all the might, all the powers, all the military powers within themselves and use as their will. No, under the guidance of Brahmana. More Brahmana just thrown away on the side. So the Kshatriya took, the so-called Kshatriya took over the power of the military. So there was a second war, the first war, and then this war, and so that, and so many fights all over the world. So then after some time, the Kshatriya start to clap because they are not guided by the Brahmanas. So Kshatriya start a lot, and then in Vaishya society thought, hey, why we are following this Kshatriya who is not even properly guided by Brahmana, and they are just using their power to gratify themselves. They are not even protecting us. Why we should follow this Kshatriya? So the Vaishya took revolution. They took over the power. That is, Vaishya means money. So the military power is gone away, and Vaishya's power, the money, took over. That means banking and all the industry and all the money, different companies, and they become power. So there is a nationalism and a socialism, and they make other people work, and this Vaishya collected money, and they become very powerful, more than the government. So government has to follow the person who has money. You can see now in the money is power. So the military is just gone, and money has become power. Then they are accumulating in power and money, and then later on, the labor class thought, hey, what we are doing now? They have power and they have money, but we are the one who is working so hard day and night. Why we have to be under them? Why we have to be the slave for them? They made a revolution. So they went against those Vaishya who had power and money, but the labor class, they have more like actually physical power. They are working so hard, they have more big number. So they took over the power. So it's not anymore military, it's not anymore money, but then it's become the mass of people. Then it's become, Prabhupada said after few text, the government by people. What is the slogan? Government by people, government for the people, by the people, of the people. That is a democracy, no? So this thing is going on. So all the Varnashram, Krishna created, became completely corrupt, all started from Shringi. It's one by one. Next part we can see more in detail how it's happened. But this is step by step, it's corrupt, and now we are living in this society. And all the shelter we can take is Krishna's holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Itai go Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Any question or comment? No? Yes. Mataji always ask very deep question. Creation itself is better than class.
Thank you, Mataji, for a nice class. So I have a question regarding the 4 classes. Krishna himself declares that he has established this system. But today in the world, if we say that there are 4 classes, everyone is very much against that idea. We are all equal. Everyone needs to be treated the same, everyone has equal rights, etc., etc. So, would you like to comment on the situation today?
Okay, thank you. That is the person I was going to say on the name is. So everyone's equal. Yes, as a soul, everyone is same, but there is a different two kind of svadharma. One kind of svadharma is varnashram in a conditioned state, because we are conditioned, we have to act according to our conditioned nature. And then everyone is equal as a soul. As a soul, we are equal. That is the stage when we are liberated. When we are liberated, we are soul, we are equal in the eyes of Krishna as a soul. So in that state, we are acting in a devotional service. That is svadharma as a soul. So if someone is saying that yes, we are equal, then they should become fully Krishna consciousness, then we become the Swarupa. Then they can say yes, we are equal. But as soon as we are working in the material conditioning, then we have to work in that platform. For example, if we want to eat something, everyone has different liking, and if we want to do some work, if we give some work, someone likes, someone doesn't like. Someone is expert, someone is not expert. So someone have to somehow fit somewhere. So it's not like a varnashrama is making everyone, you are Brahmana, you're so good, you are Shudra, you're so bad. It's not like that, but then Krishna is making everyone feel comfortable to be how you are. Then from there they can gradually progress. So everyone equal. That is Swarupa, the ultimate Swarupa. They are aiming it. But we are now conditioned. So with the conditioned state, we can progress slowly. But that is the most comfortable way and more reasonable way. So now the socialism is the one of the Islam. Prabhupada is talking about the Ishopanishad text 1 and 2, Isham Bashan Idan Sarvan Yakichan Jagatan Jagan Tena Taktena Bunjita Yakita Jagatan Jagan. Everything is owned and controlled by the Supreme Lord, and then everyone gets their quota. What they deserve, they get the quota by Krishna. Krishna is giving everyone quota. Everyone gets from Krishna what they deserve, and they should not take which quota is given to others. So everyone equal right. Yes, everyone got the quota by Krishna. Everyone got what they deserve, what is most suitable for them. But they should not try to get what's on others. That is called the Isham Basham principle. Isham Basham principle is varnashrama. Krishna is center, Krishna is controller, Krishna is creator. So everything has to be work in harmony with Krishna, and we use everything what was given to me, to you, everyone different thing is given. And use that and to serve Krishna in the harmony of Krishna consciousness. That's the Isham Basham principle. If we don't do that, then nationalism, my country is best, our culture is best. Then there will be the friction with other country, and then socialism. Or everyone should be equal, so everyone collected the money, and they work to get the money, put everyone money together, and they will distribute equally. Someone works so hard, someone work less, someone collected so much, someone collected less, but everybody is equal, so everything should be collected in one place, then distributed to everyone equally. That is everyone equal. But the person who is going to distribute, they think, I keep for me first, and I keep for my family also. Then after we'll distribute to everyone. So it's not going to be equal. So the socialism will fail. Then after the country found out that why we are letting these people to do this, we are going to control this equal, everyone's equal, that communism. So everyone work. Someone has talent, someone doesn't have a talent, someone is lazy, someone is hardworking, everyone equal. Whatever they collect, everyone will gather together and the government will distribute. Then what is the problem with that? Everyone's equal, but the problem is the person who works so hard will think, we work so hard, but then they are not working much, but we get same amount. And someone will think, I have so much skill, I can do such a big thing, but then I'm not getting an opportunity to expose my ability, because everyone is equal. So everyone doing the same job, and everyone gets same work. So they get frustrated. So in any way, communism is not working well. Then after another ism, be nice to others. be nice to others means try to be nice to people. So in a big scale at a company or country, they are doing that. In a small scale, like someone is sitting, maybe someone has a knee problem, give the chair, or someone is carrying something, open a door for them, or someone is in a train and all the ladies come and please sit, give the chair, something like that. Do something for others. And that is equal, everyone is equal, but being nice. So that is good feeling. But by doing something good for others, they start feeling, I feel good. Before I'm going to sacrifice for others, but then after you do something nice to others, then they feel good. So they start feeling good. So then become famous as a charitable person, a good person. Then the first motivation kind of change. So everyone's equal, but that kind of feeling, I'm helping, that means I'm superior to that person, that's why I'm helping. That superiority consciousness is somehow creeping because our human nature, somehow even such a nice person, nice purpose, nice mentality, we start something, but something will creep in. Then humanitarianism. So some advanced countries, they will collect the volunteers, young people, able person to go to the poor country to cultivate those places. Like maybe that some place has no water, some place has no electricity, some place people doesn't have a house. They go there, try to help to get the water or pump, or try to make the house, or teach them to how to make the house. But the problem is, in the beginning, the intention is good, but the material desire is unlimitedly increasing, so they become better in the life, materialistic life. Then they want more and more and more. It's not like, oh, thank you very much, you help us so much. No, they are not going to. They may say that, but they will not stop there. They want more and more and more, and that is not just helping, but actually, karma bandhana, they are increasing in more bondage in this material world. So, equal life. In all respect, if you examine each ism, then all ism, if you look, then as long as you don't have God in center, Isham Bhasham principle, Bhagavata communism, then it's going to collapse, it's not going to flourish. So equalism work only if you have Isham Bhasham principle, Bhagavata communism, that is varna-ashram. That is the perfect way. And then if you examine each aspect in detail, then you will find. So if you are going to speak to someone who is saying that, you can point out each detail, how everything is done like this, and how they're failing, and what is the problem, and what is the solution. They come to the conclusion, solution is Bhagavata communism, which is varna-ashram, which is the perfect system made by Krishna. That's okay? Thank you. So is there any comment or question? If not, then we will end. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Parikshit Maharaj ki jai, Shama Kalesi ki jai, Taiko Premanande Hari Hari Bo.